point in camp did you come to realize that you were going to have Mason ready, that knee was going to be ready for week one? Was that something that you knew early on, or did it kind of, you found out as it went along?
Well, obviously Mason's got a lot of skins racked on the wall, and he's done a great job through rehab. He doesn't go anywhere. He's been here over weekends and all those things to get himself ready. And the last 10 days, he's kind of pushed himself to a position where we'll see what the week looks like at the end. But thought he had a good day yesterday, and we're excited to see what tomorrow brings.
Rich, how much catching up did the operation have to do just to get, those three specialists?
Well, I think, the operation from the snap to the hold is something he, obviously saw before. He had a lot of confidence in Pat, and Coco's getting better all the time. So I think he's been behind there watching it a lot. And now, just with all the reps we've gotten, even on the days he hasn't kicked, he's still getting the reps of being lined up and getting the operation. So I feel confident those guys will do a good job with that.
How much does his veteran experience help, considering he's missed so much time? Is he a guy that, as long as he's been around at this point, you can just plug in and feel good about, even though he's missed the time he's missed?
Yeah, I believe so. I think we said when we first got here, I'm excited about being a part of him, his career, learning from him, which I have, and that, he's had a down year before, and he's come back really strong, and I think that's what we're looking for from him this year. We'll see, again, progress, how he's making through the rest of the week. Hopefully tomorrow he has a good day, and then we'll make a decision before the game.
I'm guessing it's standard operating procedure for you, but what's the challenge of getting special teams assembled when you didn't have your roster until 2 weeks ago, and you kind of have to maybe grab some guys from here and there to fill in some spots?
Yeah, great question. Obviously, I think for special teams coaches in the league, the roster is always fluid. It can change on a day-to-day or a week-to-week basis. It's rare in the NFL that you play with the same group 2 weeks in a row. It's just kind of how it goes. It's rare that you play with the same team 2 weeks in a row. So we've gotten certainly an influx of some new people that came in here earlier, and we got Rudy Ford, a few days ago from Goody, did a good job with that. So I think we're going to be a work in progress as we go through the entire year.
Rich, are you inclined to have Amari handle both punts and kickoffs?
As of right now, he's been working at both along with other guys. We're still playing a slew of guys in practice, and I think we'll kind of find out here as we get towards tomorrow and then go through Saturday, my conversations with Coach LaFleur as to what direction we want to go in. But, he's doing both right now.
Rich, have you ever seen a kicker come in kind of midway through and kick the ball as well as Rudy's has?
Well, again, fortunately, I've been around a long time, and we've had I've been fortunate to have kickers come in at different times and play well or not play so well. I can remember being in San Diego, and we had Nate Keating, was a heck of a player, and we had Nick Novak came in and had a tremendous training camp, and then we lose Nate Keating. Nate Keating gets hurt, and Nick Novak goes on and has 2 really good years. So I've had some experience with it before. We're excited about Ramiz and what he's done for us. We're excited that we have him on the practice squad, and he's a work in progress too. So they don't make them all, but he's done a good job.
Is Rudy a guy that's played teams in this league long enough that you could kind of see his understanding and you kind of took him a little less to catch up with everything?
Yeah, I've kind of known Rudy a long time. Remember him coming out of high school, as a running back coming out of high school. He's really fast, and he's got a lot of experience, to your point, playing in teams. So hopefully we can get him dressed and get a chance to let him do what he's been doing for a while in the league.
He said you recruited him to college?
Well, I did a 22-day extent at Auburn at one time, and Rudy was coming out of high school at that time, as well as Daniel Carson was, and some other guys that now I've been with in the league. So I've been familiar with him and his play, and certainly followed him and played against him in the league. So we're excited to get him.
There's a lot of variation in offense and defense scheme throughout the league. Is special team scheme less varying, and is it easier to plug in a guy that comes late in camp or off the waivers, or is it the same where he's got to learn a new lingo, terminology, and playbook?
Yeah, I think you kind of answered your own question. He's got to learn the terminology and learn the kind of the language that we're speaking and kind of how we're calling things and what place we want him to line up in. But when he gets out there lined up at the flyer position for us, he's played that a lot. So my expectation is he'll play well.
What do you recall about playing Jalen Rieger last year?
Well, he's really, really fast, and he's trying to get the edge all the time. And sadly enough, we're looking back through his past, and last time he played Green Bay, he had a big day. So we're preparing for that. We've watched the film, and certainly a good get for them. I remember him coming out as well, tremendous speed, and we just have to do a good job of covering them, along with their kick return guy. He's a tremendous kick return player. He had 2 touchdowns for him last year, and I think if he didn't lead the league, I think he's second in the league. He might be first in the league in yards per return. So they've got a good return game going, and we'll have to see how we play in coverage.
Hey, Rich, I was talking to Matt last week, and he said that when it came to special teams periods, until you came along, that he was always trying to hold back the reins because he wanted to save guys' legs for game day. And he said you are foot on the gas, full cover, and that you convinced him that that's what was necessary. Why is that so important to do that? And I don't know if you're doing it quite as much this week now with a game or not, but it sounds like a pretty big change for him.
Again, I'm respectful to Coach LaFleur, what he's done. Just what we've had some success with in the past is, we have anywhere from a 9 to an 11 play script, and somewhere in there we're going to cover 3 of those. So and usually Wednesday's a grinded out practice for the whole team anyway, and it's when we did punt this week, and then we kind of, like everybody else, taper off towards the end of the week. But I think we've done a good job working together, Coach LaFleur, myself, certainly defensively and offensively with Joe and Steno, and how we want to construct practice and how we want those players to work through practice and what the end of the week looks like. So Coach has been great with that, and I think the players have responded really well to it. We're still in the process of building a unit. I think we're going to be good. I think we're going to hit some bumps in the road, and we're going to have to overcome some successes we have, and we're going to have to overcome some, not so much successful plays that we have. It's part of the game, right?
So the reason I ask is he obviously respects your expertise, that he's doing it differently than he has in the past. In your experience, how does that pay off on game day, be going full go during the week? And what are the drawbacks of maybe not doing it if you ever didn't go full go?
Well, okay, we're going to pull on some of my years of experience. We just like to get them to the point where by the end of the week they have enough confidence that they're going to be able to compete on game day with speed versus speed. And I think that's what we're trying to build here. We're trying to put ourselves in position to compete with every team in the league, speed versus speed. And so as the week goes on, I'd like to think that we can get 3 full runs somewhere on Wednesday and 3 full runs on Thursday, and get us hopefully 3 on Friday, so they can look at the tape on Saturday and go, I'm ready to go. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But I think along with Giz and our strength and conditioning, we've had multiple conversations about what's the best thing to do throughout the week in practice. And it goes all the way back to our, cat clubs that we had in the off season and how our guys worked. Very respectful of the work that they've given us throughout training camp, all the way back to OTAs. And again, I think there was excitement today, I thought, in practice. There was great energy yesterday in practice. So I just think they're all kind of, everybody's wanting to get ready to play, the regular season game.
I understand he's never played in an NFL game, but how confident are you in Jack going into week 1, given the strides he's made the last couple months?
Well, we've put him under a lot of stress, and we put him under a lot of stress yesterday, and we put him under a lot of stress today, and every day that he's been with us. And he's earned the opportunity to compete and play. And again, anytime you have a rookie at any position, there's going to be bumps in the road. But I think in the practices that we've had in full pads and the way in which he competed in preseason games, and the way in which he competed yesterday and today, again, he's earned the right, to try to improve every day. And I think he's earned some of the respect from his teammates as well.
Rich, you've been around a long time. You've had some head coaching experience. Do you feel like you can help Matt with game management, clock management, that kind of stuff? Do you think he'll lean on you for some of that kind of stuff?
Well, we've had conversations, but he has Connor, who does a great job. I know he did a great job with him last year. He's been with him now for a long time, and in the preseason games that I've been privy to here and listening on the headset, and if he asks me a question, I'm going to give an answer. But I think they've done a tremendous job, in 2-minute situations and 4-minute situations of handling the clock and making decisions as to what he wants to do, when he wants to go for it. So I'm certainly a part of that. I'll give an answer if he asks me a question, but I have a lot of respect for the way they've managed the clock here.
Rich, I'm sorry to keep bringing up how long you've been doing this, but that means you've worked with a lot. So that means you've worked with a ton of different head coaches. How has your kind of assimilation with Matt given what he says about you, I'm curious how it's kind of gone from your perspective.
Yeah, and I've talked about it a lot. You know, I get razzed a little bit about, you know, how I talk about Matt, but I've been, to some degree, I don't know if I was ever flat, but I have been re-energized, you know, by him. I use the word a lot. He just has a great zeal for football. You know, he's a coach's kid. I really respect the way he handles the team meetings and the way he talks to the players and the results he gets from the players and the relationship he has with the quarterback, you know, and we've had great football conversations. I really enjoy how he deals with coaches' families and, you know, his two young boys. And so for me, it's exciting to be around him in the way in which he, you know, was a whole different training camp for me in the way that, you know, we went about our business and the way in which we go about our practices, and some of them are quick, and we go through the 6-play scripts, and so I'm learning every day from him. I really enjoy being around him. I enjoy that we can have personal and professional conversations, and not only am I learning from him as a coach, I'm enjoying the friendship that we're building, so very respectful of that.
Time for two more.
Rich, do you feel like, I mean, at the end of the season, the organization has to commit to special teams in terms of personnel? It appears Goody has done that. Do you feel you have the tools, the people to make these special teams better than they've been?
You know, again, it's been a process, right? And I think we've gotten some players that weren't here before that have played well where they were, and we'll expect them to play well again. But we've also had players that have been here that have played before, that have bought into the things that we're trying to do and going in the direction that, you know, we're trying to go, and I think that they've improved as well. You know, we talk every day about, at the end of the day, we'd like to look at the tape and hope that we got a little bit better in everything that we're trying to do. And to some degree, we talk to them guys about, I know we do in our meetings, I'd like to be a better husband at the end of the day and a better father, but I'd also like to be better at what we do for a living. So do we have all the tools? I don't know if you ever have all the tools you need, but I think the tools that we do have are excited to play. They've had great energy in practice. I think that they'll pay attention to the details and the fundamentals of which they need to play with. And I think that, you know, in the National Football League, the number one job of a pro player is to protect his job. And the two ways to protect your job are your performance on the field and your actions off of it. I think they're very aware of that, and I think they look at the tape with a critical eye. I think we're excited to go play. You know, I think that's what practice has shown the last 2 days. I'm excited about finishing off here the next 2 days.
How did you handle the preseason? Obviously, there's some plays that
Just be a little louder.
I'm sorry. How did you view the preseason? How did you handle that? I'm sure that was kind of tough to watch some of the things that happened. You know, some broken play, but
yeah,
you don't panic in a situation like
no,
that.
Again, I don't want to over-glorify when we make a really good play, and I don't want to, you know, over-analyze, you know, a poor play. We want to look at them to some degree both the same. We tried to play a lot of people in a lot of situations, and some of it I did a poor job in. You know, I think we had 12 on the field one time, and I had 10 on the field another time, and those are things you go through in preseason, and you know, that's on me. But I also think we tried to play a lot of players and put them in a lot of, you know, one week a guy played one position, the next week in the preseason played a totally different side and a totally different position. So we tried to give them an opportunity to go out there and perform and compete and play, and I think we have a lot of film on the players that we have in our building. But I do think it's going to be an ongoing process, you know, especially talking to Goody all the time. We're always looking, right? We're always looking.
Brian Gutekunst said that
Sorry?
when it came to cutdown day, that there were a core group of guys that he kept, not for what they can do on offense or defense, but on defense, as you call it. How much does that help to have that core group that's their primary focus, and not that they're distracted by other things, but that's what their emphasis is?
Well, again, they're just trying to learn how to play together, right? So whether you have a core group of offensive linemen or a core group in the secondary or whatever that may be, they're learning how to play together, and they're learning how to take responsibility for all their actions on the field. And I think we're learning about the criticalness of one play at a time. And so we'll see what it looks like come Sunday. But if that's the last question, I just kind of want to hit on a personal note here a little bit. And this is certainly not to be a downer in any way, but you know, coming here to Wisconsin, we had close family member in Nina Pahokee. I know you guys probably have read about it. You know, she worked over in Wausau for WAOW, I think, was on the morning anchor. She's a really close family member of ours, really close to my kids, to my son, Richie, and her mom was the head coach at Freedom High School in Tampa, where my daughter Elizabeth was a captain on the basketball team before she became the coach, and then she allowed my daughter to coach, and us coming here to Green Bay, Nina was so excited. You know, she'd become a Green Bay fan. She had texted Richie and about the people in Wisconsin and what it was like to be here, and so I just wanted to, you know, throw that out there to her and her family. Condolences, and certainly our prayers and our wishes go to her family back in Tampa. And she was, again, real excited about us coming here, and she was growing into a great Packer fan. And so, you know, crisis counseling is a big deal, obviously. Mental health is a big deal. The suicide hotline, all those things are available to certainly not only younger people, but all of us. But she'll be missed. And again, thanks for letting me give that to her, you know, to her family. So.